What you're about to experience are my opinions and truths. I'm suggesting they're possibilities for you to consider, in which you can then come up with your own logical conclusions. Welcome out, everyone. All of you great decoders around the world, wherever you may be. My name is Logan, your tour guide, and this is Decode Your Reality. And today we have another episode of scripted, I like saying that, scripted reality. This is number 17. Scripted Reality 17, and boy, oh boy, do I have a jam-packed, gem-filled presentation for all of you. Like, why do we have a monkey on the left? This is a Reese's monkey, and we have a scientist to the right, both looking at the number 17. I want to remind all of you how important this number 17 is. When you go to mathematics, and we start off by looking at the primes and how big the prime numbers are, like they're just standalone, huge, massive numbers, like leadership numbers. And so we see the 59 tied to the number 17, and if we go to numerology and we type in the game of life, we have the 59. If we type in contract with God, we have 59. So this is a big number tied to our reality, 59. 5 is 5 fingers, 5 toes, 5 senses, and the 9 means repeat, 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 repeat. It means repeating the game of life is what the 59 means. And the 59 is attached to the number 17. And if we just click on that 17, you're going to see that it goes to another prime number. Now it goes to the 7th prime number. 7 chakras. 7 colors of the rainbow. We have the solfeggio, the Hertz frequencies. There's so many layers with the number 7. 7 days of the week. So the 7's tied to the 17, which is tied to the 59, which is tied to contract with God in the game of life. And if we click on that 7, it's going to go down to another prime number, and that's the number 4. 7 being the 4th prime number. And this is a very big number. I've done a decode on this. I hope you have all watched it, called 4 Decoded. It's a decoding quickie. It's a very small, short one, but it's very impactful, very important to look at. Remember, 4 corners of the earth, north, south, east, and west. The box, the cube, the square, 4 blood types. 4 being the number 23 in numerology, blood equaling 23 in numerology, and that's what we're going to get into. But going back to this number 17, ladies and gentlemen, and this being scripted reality number 17, and why the monkey and the scientist are here, because they have everything to do with this presentation. And I'm going to start off by talking about the 17th card in the tarot, called the Star card, and how much value these cards have in our reality. Again, 17 is the 7th prime number, 7 chakras, 7 is the 4th prime number, 4 blood types. This is the angel coming down to play the game of life. And you become the star of the show. And this just may be a vacation spot for spirit, a vacation spot for God to experience its own reality through. All these ancient texts, they all lead to this. And this 17 star is so magical. And what this has reference and meaning to here. Okay, and the star's behind, and the angel and the woman, she's got 1 foot on the water, pouring the water out, information. So many layers in this. So this is what the script, and how does the monkey and the scientist fit into this? We're going to get into that. I wanted to just really give a quick shout out to all of you great Patreons, all of you supporters that have pledged every month for supporting this great research. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so very much. If you're not a member, you can join for free. I do put out content on there for all the people that are on there. You don't have to be a subscriber to get some of the free content on there. So if you'd like to join, I'd love to have you become part of the Decode Your Reality family. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to start here, and once again, how many times I've decoded the blood, and I had no plans to do this. Of course, I'm just following my instructions, the voice in my head. 4 blood types. You're going to be one of these. O, A, B, or AB. And again, we go to the mathematics, 17 being the 7th prime number, 7 being the 4th prime number. Okay? 4 blood types. This is how important this stuff is. So you're the star of the show. And when you incarnate into a human being, into a vessel, as you get born into this world, spirit becomes a player on the board. And now it has a blood type, the blood being the oil of the body. And what's really interesting is that these 4 blood types, that you're going to have one of these. They're either going to be Rh positive or Rh negative. This will result in a total of 8 possible blood types. The 4 main blood types are determined by the presence or absence of the Rh factor, otherwise known as the Reese's factor, which is why I got the monkey there. I'm going to get into that. You're going to see this. Okay? Now, here are the 8 known blood types. Covered this so many times. You're going to be one of these. A positive, A negative, all the way through O positive, A negative. Which one are you? This will determine whether or not you have the Rh factor plus or minus, as I stated here. Having it or having the absence of it. Okay? Now, I'm going to now talk about the guys, because this is scripted reality. The 2 gentlemen that were credited for first discovering the Rh factors in the blood of Reese's monkeys in 1937. Okay? These 2 guys, Carl and Alexander. Okay? So I'm going to show you how these guys right here, as I have shown so many times, did not have a choice in discovering the Rh factors in the blood. And it's not just that. This guy, Carl, right here, he discovered the ABO types. I'm going to show you that in a little bit. This guy, Carl Landsteiner, was massive in this reality. What a position he incarnated to do. These guys didn't have a choice. Scripted reality, predestination at its fullest here. Okay? So, here's Carl and his birthday and his death day. Born on June 14th, died on the 26th of June. And then we have Alexander, born on the 16th of March, passed on the 6th of November. So now what I want to do is I want to look at the cards of illumination for these 2 gentlemen, because they are credited with the Rh factor of the blood, and Carl is credited with the ABO types as well. If you know what that is, I'm going to show that. So here are Carl's 2 cards, his birth card, 3 of diamonds, his death card, the 4 of clubs. And then Alexander having the 7 of diamonds as his birth card and the ace of diamonds as his death card. And now what we want to do, as I have done so many times, is we're going to add up all the cards. 3 of diamonds, 29th card, 4 of clubs, 17th card, 7 of diamonds, the 33rd card, the ace of diamonds, the 27th card in the deck, and we just use the trusty calculator. There it is. And those 4 give us a total of 106. 106. This is a mighty number in the decoding world because it's tied to this number, our D and A. The 2 base pairs of the deoxyribonucleic acid, the spiral here, adenine, thymine, cytosine, guanine. 106. I mean, if you get caught in a crime scene, if you go and commit a crime and you leave your blood behind, they run that for DNA. They run it into a computer to see if they can find you. The blood's tied right to the DNA, folks. And these 2 guys right here with their birth cards and their death cards end up being 106, which is tied to the 2 base pairs of numerology of the DNA. Coincidence? Am I just really stretching this, or showing this time and time again? You could see how Carl and Alexander, very prolific positions on the world stage with this scripted reality number 17. But wait, there's more, like there usually is. So deoxyribonucleic acid here. which is this 2 base pairs, which is the spiral, is going to give you the numerology of 69. What is 69? The yin yang. Now we're talking about the deoxyribonucleic acid, what it means to be a human being, what it means to have blood pumping through your body. You now become part of duality, which is the yin yang, the 69. Now this fits into this DNA spiral. You're going to get the fish bladder in here. Okay, the vesica piscis is in there. Your 2 eyeballs are in there. The number 8 is in there with the infinity symbol, which is tied to the sin wave, which is tied to the sun, and the ribonucleic acid. So now I want to look at this 6 and 9. This is a big deal. This is where this fits. The 6 is right there, and the 9 is right there. And you bring them together, and there they are, cocooned together, forming that fish bladder, forming that vesica piscis. 6 is the last day of creation. 6 is carbon. 9 is always going to repeat the number it sits next to. So essentially 69 will become the number 6. Okay? This is going to be tied to carbon. Carbon is the 6th element. We have about 19%, I think around there, 20% of carbon. That's what we're made up of. It's the 666 element. 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons. This is the Christ because 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18, and Jesus and Christ equal 18. You're having a Jesus Christ superstar experience. I'm going to support that a little bit more moving forward in this presentation, so let's keep going. Where does this number 69, since it's such a big number in the world of the biology of the body, being tied to deoxyribonucleic acid, the 69, now we're going to measure this in the string of the golden ratio, which is a huge integral part of the source code. And we locate the 69. We got to go 100. This is including the 1 point now. Several ways to look at this. The way including in the 1 point, the 69 is the 136th, 137th digit. That's what it occupies. This is a permutation of the 316, which is going to be John 3:16, which is talking about putting your faith in Jesus and having everlasting life. It's everlasting life. And it's also tied to Revelation 3 verses 16, which is the one I'm more interested in, which talks about being lukewarm and being spit out of the game and not having to return back to the game. That means your DNA. You remove yourself from the board. That's how deep this goes. Okay? And then you can clearly see the big connection here. The 137, which again is tied to that number 9, which is tied to the repeat. The game never ends, folks. It just changes courses. It changes environments, changes ages as it moves through the zodiac signs. The 137 being the 33rd prime number, the majority of you have 33 vertebrae running up, and this is the tree of life. This now becomes, so the duality means the tree of life. Okay? The 33, which is going to be tied to arsenic, and that's going to be tied to the great beast above through the measurements of the sublimation degree, 616. For a different story, though. Okay, it goes way deep. Okay? It goes way, way deep. So going back to Carl and Alexander, to show you more support that these guys didn't have a choice and we live in a scripted reality, I'm going to add up their birthdays. Okay, we did their cards. Now we're going to do their birthdays. 14 and 26 for Carl, 16 and 6 for Alexander. Gives us a total of 62, which is a mirror of the 26. And blood is the iron. Iron is blood, etc., etc. But this 62 right here, ladies and gentlemen, bringing this number into the string of the golden ratio. This occupies digit 51 and 52. And this is big, right? Because 51 tied to the slope of the Great Pyramid. I'm telling you, the Great Pyramid of Giza has everything to do with this reality. 51 is the measurement of the slope. 51 is going to be tied to antimony, which is going to be tied to Lucifer, which is going to be tied to mind control, which is going to be tied to the Egyptian all-seeing eye inside your brain. And then 52, if you've been paying attention in the string of numerology, 52 is tied to prison planet. Okay. And if you're not convinced there, the 52nd element on the periodic table is going to be called tellurium, which means earth. That's why they have a picture of it right there. So is it coincidental that I'm showing you this? Am I stretching anything? See, all you have to do is, it's all connected. That's all you have to do is use syncretism. Synchronize these things. And you'll be able to start to see how this reality is all connected. Okay? So this is what this means right here. Now, the humdinger out of this is when you add these two digits up. 62 occupies 51 and 52. Simple math. What's 51 and 52? 103. What's 103? Bam! It's tied right to rhodium. Okay, this is isotope 103. It's going to be 102.906. It's going to round up to the 103. This is isotope 103. It's most abundant. And it's the 45th element on the periodic table. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, I am now bridging something that is absolutely, to me, is mind-blowing. That the Rh factor in the blood, in our blood, came from, and they found it in this species of monkey called the Rhesus macaque. I probably pronounced it wrong. I butchered it, and I know. The Rhesus, whatever. 45. So these guys right here got credited for discovering the Rh factor, whether you're Rh positive or Rh negative, which is going to give you your A negative or your B positive. They found it in this species of monkeys, and you mean to tell me the numerology of that species of monkeys is a 45, which is the 45th element on the periodic table, which has got the most abundant isotope of 103, and their birthdays add up to the 103 through the golden ratio? Say it isn't so. Yeah, I'm saying it. Are you serious? I am dead serious. Dead serious. And this 45 is very, very big. Not just tying it to the monkey here, but tying it to this topic called the fallen angels. So this is where you're going to get evolution written into the story. Whether or not it's true, like we came from monkeys. Listen, see, there's no way you can disprove that. You cannot disprove it. But I can't prove it. No one can prove it. You can't disprove it. So it's in the story of the script. And this is right here. This is solidification of it right here. This is support that there is traces of our DNA being tied to monkeys. I mean, this is why they look a lot like and they act a lot like human beings. And again, I'm not going to be in this debate of, oh, Logan's getting into evolution. Listen, folks, I'm not here to twist your arm. I'm showing you the evidence. What you do with it, that's going to be completely up to you. I'm not here to force it upon you. This is scripted reality. This is my support. So many times over, these people didn't have a choice. Whether or not you believe we came from monkeys is besides the point. You're seeing the connection of it being tied to 45. And if you just eliminate the monkey altogether, this crazy connection, and you connect it to this, and 103 being the 27th prime number, 103B, whoops, just so you can see it. The 27th prime number. My last name is adds up to the 27. Okay, this is why I'm showing you this. See, this is my last name on my birth certificate. Okay, and so you see, this is why this is what runs our reality. You're being mined for your currency. Currency, not money. Your blood is your money. Your blood is gold, and I'm going to show that. Okay, your blood is gold. Make no mistake about it. And this is another reason why I use this. Why I think Chaldean is the best cipher to use. Okay? Because it's tied to the blood. It's tied to the blood through these markers here. Okay? So these guys have their birthdays added up into the string of the golden ratio, tied to prison planet, tied to mind control, tied to the Rh factor, and there you go. There's the big connecting point. And I got more to show you, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not convinced now, well, let's keep going. Here are the cards of illumination and the tarot card now to get the picture, to give more extensions on this scripted reality. I want to use this is like pulling out all the tools, the saw, the hammer, the screwdriver. This is another tool in the toolbox. The Knight of Wands is the 62nd card in the deck, so it's tied to the total addition of their birthdays. Okay, now this is really a big deal because the Knight of Wands comes from the Jack of Spades. And this is the Jack or Jill. This is a masculine, feminine card. So if you're not a male, you're going to be Jill. And if you're a male, you're going to be Jack. And this is where Jesus comes from. I can guarantee, folks, these came out in the 13th, 14th century. Julius Caesar, why do you think it was Julius? Folks, it comes from the Roman, Greek, Roman Catholic. It's Jesus, that character. And that's why you're told, oh, eat my body, drink my blood. You're never going to see me do that. You will never see me do that. I will never do those rituals. Those, to me, are guaranteeing your reincarnation and back into this reality. Okay? You're seeing these guys don't have a choice. Do we have a little bit of free will to make a decision on whether or not you're going to eat that Eucharist and suck down that glass of wine and do those rituals on all the sun-worshipping days? The Jack. The Jack is the masculine, Mars-like energy of the sun. Okay? That's why it's the knight. Okay? The 50. And this is why the 50 is so big. This is the 50th card in the deck. Okay? So here are their birth cards added up. 62, the Knight of Wands. Okay? The Knight of Wands. And the Jack of Spades, the connecting point. And I will remind you, if you have not watched my Life is But a Dream, well, it's tied right to this number 62 and the 50. Life is But a Dream is 50. The guy who wrote the song, his name numerology is 62. Go watch my Life is But a Dream. Please, all of you, go watch Life is But a Dream. It will bring you so much clarity on scripted reality. Okay? Are we just living in the dream of the cosmos? There's a very good possibility that's all this is. Life is a joke to me. And then this how big this marker is. Tin, the element tin, has the most stable isotopes, 10 of them, out of all 119 elements in the periodic table. This is the top dog element that has the most stable isotopes. Why this one? Why did they have the Tin Man in the Wizard of Oz? Because the Tin Man was looking for his heart. When Tin Man, so this is what we're doing. Well, it doesn't have to be love. It can be humping. It can be procreating, looking for a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. But it can also be looking for the love of creating a hobby into a manifestation, being a scientist, discovering Rh factors and blood types. Okay? Mankind is being used. Now, I'm not saying this is negative. Some of you look at this like I'm being negative. No. On the contrary. See, when you know you're being used, then you say, okay, well, now I want to discover what I'm being used for. And now you're on the search for your cosmic code, your astrology, numerology, cards of illumination, tarot, enneagram, personality types, the whole gamma. To figure it out, to dial yourself in. To know without a shadow of a doubt what your code's supposed to be. As you're this Jack or Jill. Okay? Creating a revolution. That's what this card is, the revolution card. Okay? And just reminding you folks is that we're tied to this, like it or not. Okay? And how scripted of a reality this totally is. Okay? So I'm going to go back to Carl now. Show you more support on this guy right here. Carl was not only the co-discoverer of the Rh factor with Alexander, but he was the guy who discovered the A-B-O blood types. You're going to be A, B, AB, or O. He was the guy who discovered it. So he's got a pretty big role, or he had, because he's passed, he had a really big role as a scientist on the world stage. Really big. Because how important is your blood? Okay? And remembering that this right here, I shouldn't say remembering, observing this right here. What is this? This is one way to observe one's life path, which is the spirit inside of you, in numerology, found from the birthday added up. Okay? So a lot of ways, the most common ways when you break all these down into single digits, and you're going to get a single digit, and I'm going to tell you that's going to be a number 7. So he has a 7 life path. But if you do it this way, the 14th, June is the 6th month, 18, and then 68. You separate all those, you get 106. And folks, you go right back to this. I mean, look at how big of a humdinger this is. I mean, seriously? The guy's tied right to DNA. Not just one way, but other ways. And he was the first to discover the ABO blood group system, and then he was a co-discoverer of the Rh factor of the blood. Come on, folks. This guy didn't have a choice. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just supporting and showing you that you don't have a choice. You have a script that you need to follow along with. There are no accidents and mistakes. There is just a script playing out. That's it. Discovering your script is the most gratifying thing you could ever do in your life. The most gratifying thing you could do in your life. So let's look at Alexander. We showed it Carl. Now individually, Carl, what about Alexander? Here is his life path. 16th, he was born March, the 3rd month, 1907, 19 and the 7. It gives us the number 45, and it goes right back to him being tied to that Rh factor and him being the co-discoverer of the Rh factor, tied to the Rhesus monkey with Carl. I mean, look at how crazy scripted this is, folks. And this is, again, do you actually think these guys are trying to mock you? Trying to pull the woolly over your eyes, trying to get one past you? And what would be the point? These dudes are scientists, and they're having fun discovering things, these two dudes. And I know some people say, oh, they're not real. What would be the point of making this up? Really? What would be the point of it? And again, I've shown this time and time again, hundreds and hundreds of videos supporting this scripted reality. I mean, every single person would have to be in on the conspiracy. All of them. And I say there's just way too many moving parts. Way too many moving parts. So now I'm going to bring their life paths together. And we're now going to look at this extended. So 106 being Carl's life path, 45 being Alexander. This is going to be reduced down to the number 7 and the number 9. I'm going to get into that. But 106 plus 45 is going to give us the number 151. And 151 is a big freaking deal because this number, again, tied to the Great Pyramid of Khufu. Khufu being 27. Okay? Tied to the Great Pyramid of Khufu. I'm telling you, folks, these pyramids have everything to do with our reality. I am absolutely convinced they have a big say in our reality. And the 151 is not just any number, it's a prime number. It's the 36th prime number. And this 36 is going to be tied to this word right here called operating, as in operating system. So what is the operating system? The blood. That's what operates your body. Yes, there is the heart and the lungs and all these organs you need to work in harmony, like an engine of a car. But go ahead and drain all the oil out of your car and go run it and see how long it lasts. It'll run for a little bit, but it won't take very long before that engine to seize up. Drain all the blood out of your body, you'll be dead. Okay, so the blood is your oil in your body. It is essential. It is the operating system, a big component of it. And you mean to tell me these guys' life path add up to the 151, which is tied to the 36 prime and they're tied to the operating system? Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, and I keep continuing to show this, Jesus Christ is 36. How about that? And this is why I have said every single person here watching this presentation, you are having a Jesus Christ superstar experience. You are the Christ. Your screenplay is your cross. Don't want to play anymore? Well, then there's a way out of this reality. I'm on the hunt for it. Okay? But you ain't going to see me doing no rituals, eating Eucharist and wafers. That'll guarantee your reincarnation back into this reality. So now I'm going to take the life paths and I'm going to do what most numerologists do, and that's reduce the numbers down to a single digit. So Carl having the 106, 1 plus 6 is 7, and Alexander having the 45, 4 plus 5 is 9. So he's got the 9 life path, Carl's got the 7 life path. Bring them together, that forms the number 79. That's another big deal because 79 is a prime number. It's the 22nd prime number. This is massive because 79 is tied to gold and 22 is tied to titanium, which is tied to the Fool. Because the Fool is the hidden 22nd card in the tarot. It's the card 0, but it is also very popularly brought out on the tarot spread as card 22. And this is where you're going to get the fallen angels, the titans, the sons and daughters of the earth, which have blood pumping through them. 79 being the 20. See look at how tightly knitted this is. So what this is telling me, what I see here is, we are the fools, and we are being harvested for our gold, which is tied to the sun, etc., etc. This is what this says right here. And so since these guys have life paths together, and they had big roles, co-discovering the RH factor and then Carl discovering the ABO blood type groups, blood is essential for you folks. And it's tied right to the Fool and Titanium and the Fallen Angel story. This is all about looking for love. It's tied to the Knight of Cups, which is the Jesus Christ card. These are really big humdingers here, folks. We're getting really close to narrowing this down to having a narration of this reality that is bulletproof. And I do have this coming out. This will be exclusively on Patreon. This will be the Fool Decoded. You do not want to miss this one. Do not want to miss this one. And this was one of the slides from it. Okay, found from these guys' life paths. Okay, really big deal stuff here. So the big standout here is, besides the 79 tied to their life paths, is the 22. 22 has some big words attached to it. Again, I'm just using Chaldean. Natural 22. Or what is your blood? What are you? You're an organic. You're an organic being. You're natural. Okay? This is how big this 22 is. 22 is the master builder. In numerology, 22 is considered the master builder. And what are you as a human being? You're a master builder. That's why in Freemasonry, Mason means the builder. That's all it means. Strip away all the dogma and all the regurgitation that people do and just look at it from what free builder. That's all it means. Simple. Simple stuff. And of course, let's bring in this gold. Since their life paths are the 7 and the 9, adding up to the gold, and this is where the ending of this presentation is unfolding, because you see, ladies and gentlemen, my final answer, and I'll be supporting this through other decodes, is that your blood is gold. Okay, this is isotope 197. It's most abundant. You know, on the periodic table, when you look at these elements, I just want to be very crystal clear, because some of you, it's not this, it's not that. When you click on this, you're going to see the average isotope, meaning they're going to take the stable isotopes and they're going to divide it down and they're going to give you the output of the average. But this is isotope 197. Okay? 197. If you come down to the oxidation states and isotopes, you're going to see that the atomic mass is going to be 196.967. They're going to round it up to 197, and it's 100%. 100% natural abundance. So the 196, 197 gets the nod. All these numbers encroach, etc., etc. And I'm telling you, this is where you get led to gold. Your blood is gold. That's why in the New Testament, it's encouraging you to drink the wine and do the rituals. Because you're pledging to this ritual. And you don't have no clue where it comes from. You're just trusting. You're never going to see me do it. I never have. I never will. Blood is gold. I take that back. I did it in the JW organization, but that was obviously when I was a young kid. But your blood is gold, folks. And why I know this is important. For what is 44? Tied to the hexahedron. You see, the hexahedron is a polygonal shape called the cube. In sacred geometry, the hexahedron is the cube, which is the unfolded cross, or the folded up cross. This is very general and common sense here, which is Pandora's box. So hexahedron is 44. Jesus is on the cross. The cross unfolded is that there's the letter T, and T is the 20th letter, and 20 is duality, birthday, and it's the cube. So this is guaranteeing you're reincarnated. That's why your blood is gold, man. That's why they want you to do the rituals. The church wants you to do the rituals. They're encouraging you to do the rituals. Okay? They're encouraging you to, and 44 is tied to the word underworld, which means earth, the prison planet. Okay? That's what all this stuff means right here. And finally, for this ending of presentation, what about that 197? Just to summarize all of this, 197 is the 45th prime number. What's 45? The Rh factor of the blood. Rhodium. This element is so big. If I go to it on the periodic table and you click on it, okay, this is tied to the Rosicrucians as well. So big shout out to that organization. No, I don't belong to any of these organizations, but I respect and I admire and I am enamored by these organizations because they have a little bit to say about a little bit of something. More than what we got, more than what you got. So instead of downing them, instead of putting them down, how about why don't you go study this stuff? Okay? And you can see right here. The rose that gives the bees honey. What do you think the bees are? And what do you think the rose is? Okay? What do you think the rose is and what do you think the bees are? The bees are harvesting you and we become part of the rose. That's why a honeycomb inside of a beehive is a hexagon. Start to use logic and common sense, folks. Connect it all. It's all connected. Okay? It's all connected. And the last slide here is, and I do have a decode coming out on this. Pandora's box. I already did Pandora's box 1. This is going to be number 2. Panda's going to be exclusively on Patreon. There you go. 45. So you're in it. Your body is the Pandora's box. Earth, you're a Mandelbrot set. You're a so below of Earth. You're on the motherboard. You become part of the Pandora's box. Okay? Part of the Rh factor. You're either going to be negative or positive in your blood type. Okay? Fallen angels is 45. You start to see how all this is connected in the story of this reality. Pandora's box coming out. Pandora's box 2 coming out. So, ladies and gentlemen, what did you see for this presentation? Just, keep your all I'm asking is to be cordial about your comments. I'm not asking you to agree. And yes, I stand firm in my truth. I don't have it all figured out. I don't. But at the current stage of my research, this is what I'm presenting to the world stage. If you don't agree with it, awesome. I don't want you to. But I want you to be skeptical. But please go do your own research on these topics. Instead of just saying, well, it's this and that. Okay, but have a reason why you think it's this or that. I would love to hear what you have to say, ladies and gentlemen. So keep your comments coming. Again, it's all about love in here, man. Okay? Love is what wins in the end, no matter which way you slice or dice it. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for today. My name is Logan for Decode Your Reality. Until next time, we will see you.